All right, then we're in it. It's a new channel, it's a new day, and it's a new season. Scrib, what a matchup for us to start off with. Sprout coming in, new lineup. I mean, Billy already helped guide us all through the action already, but come on, talk to me. You still haven't given me a prediction.
Well, I think it's a rough one. I think for me, probably agree with you, the 2-1 for Nemiga, in all honesty. But we'll see. This first map, you never know. They do certainly play it. And the first day jitters, I think Sprout's certainly a team that could be affected by that, or at the very least, the first game jitters. But regardless, we're into the pistol here. A little bit of action so far, trading off down in middle. Some aggression coming through from Jo to great success. Lollipop is traded back pretty quickly, but it's a scrappy beginning to Dust 2.
Yeah, and it's already some of the players you want to see fragging in, but Lollipop being on the sidelines in a pistol round can always spell a little bit of difficulty for Nemiga. They rely very heavily on his firepower at times, but now Sprout, they're setting up for a quick short take. They boosted up Slacks under the blue box on long. I like that play. Gives him a nice little off angle to work with. And Boxing now isolated on the side, brought down. That'll be the side taken immediately by Sprout.
Yeah, very quick take indeed. Only the 2 players remaining. That is a great crunch from them, to be honest. I love that player in the form of Slacks being left out towards long. It's going to be tough here to break back in. I don't think there's a kit available. Boxic was on the nades, so we'll have to see. Slacks coming in from the side, though. Just going to end things here and now, and MDS has no idea where he's getting shot from. Unfortunately, the communication not there. So kind of an anticlimactic end, but Sprout coming away with the pistol.
I'm liking what we're seeing from Slacks early on. You need to get him firing on all cylinders because, like I said in the pre-show as well, on alternate attacks, it sometimes felt like Slacks could be uncomfortable getting aggressive. So if he starts getting rolling early on, you need that momentum to move forward for Dustu and Inferno. But Slacks, that's what I'm talking about. Even if he's a little bit, even if he's a little bit tamer, doesn't mean he can't come out with some fiery shots, and that's definitely one of them.
Certainly is. Danger man. For sure. See what the plan is here from Nemiga. I do, again, like the posturing that's a bit more aggressive. Lollipop trying to find some timing, but no one round the corner. Sprout certainly giving them a hell of a lot of respect. And it really is a slow uptake here from the German side. Speedic, though, with the perfect crosshair placement, able to drop Spiddy. That's an AK down. Quickly scooped up by Dennis, of course. But all the same, back into a 4-on-4.
But now they're starting to come up short, and this is where Jo on the 5-7, not the Lollipop rather, on the MP9 could be really big. Jo's right behind him too, so Lollipop, if he gets some good damage, Jo swings out. Jo's playing anti-flash right now, and it's only 1 player on short. That's a recoverable AK. That could stop the long cross entirely, especially with Speedek helping out. Now, smokes go out, it's time to party, and they're going in. The question is, what can Favin do? But Slacks has already found Speedek on the side and forced them to rotate backwards. Favin now comes in, the lurk, coming in late, gets the first shot, turns around, doesn't overextend. That's why you like to see him play, because this guy knows all his limits.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, and obviously easy to clean up on the site with players everywhere. Once again, very well done, very well timed on the crunch. This time it is indeed, their kind of control rather than someone walking into them like it was for Slacks in the pistol. All the same, that A-bomb site, the takes at the very least from Sprout looking pretty good right now. Still, take it with a pinch of salt. Very early on, we've not seen the full strength Nemiga. But if this is a precedent, it is going to be worrisome. Stacking around with the pistols here in this round. Not really expecting too much. Few P250s, but nothing much else to speak of. As I always say, any damage is good damage, and Lollipop does get a frag in all the chaos, but a quick third, as you would expect, in the hands of Sprout. But this, of course, is what we are here for, the first rifle round.
And I can't begin to tell you how much I'm looking forward to seeing Cressy and Favin playing together. Cressy in alternate attacks was always a player I thought was very underrated. Had some fantastic moments. I think he was unfortunately outshone by some of his teammates in Murbit and Stephen, but man, this guy can really make it work. And Favin, we've already seen a little bit of him. I'm looking forward to seeing even more. But Lollipop starts off with a juicy nade, and Speedy, he's bleeding out all over the lower tunnels.
Big nade going over from Jo, and the frag off the back of it. Beautiful stuff. Spitty, as you mentioned, tagged up early on, is eventually finished off. I think the bullets or the nade gets him there, to be honest. It was not looking good at all. So into a 5-on-4 very early on. We'll see now. First true test for Sprout. They have to pull something back here, and I think, you know, going wide on your attack with 2 fronts is a little risky when you've only got 4 players. So maybe they will have to go for the slightly tighter formation towards that B bomb site instead. And it looks to be the case. A walkout, a contact play through middle. Maybe a smoke down as well. Okay, so not going to fully risk it. I was going to say they're going to keep on walking, but now kind of giving the game away a little bit. Trace is being followed. Big damage being done. MDS is in a great position to end this here and now. Finds 1 second as well. Looking for more, and he will find it. Beautiful hold from MDS.
And I love the overall protocol for Nemiga over there. They know not to be too distracted by any idea of, hey, we can get control over short, or hey, we can get control over long. In a situation like that where your B players are feeling some pressure because of a smoke being thrown, they're much more likely to need spam coming into mid. I will say it's a bit fortunate they get the kill, but MDS plays that beautifully on the side itself, making sure that he's not revealing himself at any point, not overextending, not asking his teammate to flash him outside, because he knows the rest of his team is alive, and their job is to make it an achievable retake. They do even better. Now, though, we're getting to a point where maybe the T's are feeling a little bit iffy about their money. They do have quite a bit saved over on a few players, but even so, this is a big round for them to control, and Slacks has pulled out the AWP. So let's see what he can do with it.
At the moment, not an awful lot. Nade spamming along. It's going to be long. That is indeed the first port of call. Great angle from Box. Drops back, but even spots another in the process. Calling on a bit of assistance from Speedic here. Nade goes in, but the smoke's already down, and they manage to cross back. So again, it's an early opener for Nemiga. It could have been worse for Sprout, to be honest, if they were not able to get Faven out of there.
Now comes out the smoke towards short. It gives them a little bit more control, but this is where I think Speedic will be having a lot of pressure put onto him. And Slacks has a chance to shine. Speedic generally can be a bit of a sore thumb, even rating-wise in the past few months. He's not been doing that well, even though before he was one of those big talents. But that's a missed shot, and Dennis makes up for it. Lollipop comes in from the side. Nice spray down. Second as well. Third is all too much, though. And now it's a 2v3 with Sprout having control of the site. But can Slacks find one more before planting the bomb? It seems like he can't. Oh, nice nade.
Oh. Big damage. Certainly going to soften them up. The second to follow only does 1, so classic Counter-Strike, of course, but Slacks cannot afford to miss at all. So very low here. Scoped in, trying to play contact, but yeah, just gets swung on too many players. It's Faven, though, from the side, from short, with the perfect timing, evening the odds and bringing it back down to a 1-on-1. Defuse is being attempted by Box, but unfortunately the flash not sound, and there you are. Faven with the 1v3 secures round number 4 for Sprout, seemingly out of thin air.
And that's just what Faven does. He gets himself out of a out of a terrible situation for them, where Nemiga have played everything correct as far as they know, but Faven's just able to somehow lurk in from behind. A short comes in, he's prepared, the bomb is planted for him, and this is something I love to see, how well Sprout are playing around the man who I think there's no argument is absolutely their best player. Faven's being set up for success, and he is seizing every opportunity he's being given. Nemiga do still have money for a buy, but utility, it's getting a little bit lower, and we've seen how effective they can be with those nades. But MDS now flashed up on the B side, playing a bit more defensive, a little bit more scared.
Yeah, money running kind of low here. They've got to be careful. So I think, indeed, those early faces not going to be happening as often. Really interesting. We didn't quite get to mention it, and maybe I'll have to hold the point if there's not as big of a lull. Okay, yeah, they are going to be moving towards the B-bomb side. I will hold the point, but I'll come back to it. MDS, meanwhile, looking to clean the round up, as he wants me to make my point as soon as possible. Apparently, but smoke here, going to go for the swing. Actually manages to find one. Yeah, should not be getting away with that, in all honesty, but all the same, 4-on-2. See whether the Sprout boys can recover things back. Split up at the moment, though, T-time. It's going to be a tough B take.
Indeed it is. And B side is been a little bit difficult, and that's why MDS can come in and refrag. He's got 3 so far, and he's been doing so fantastically. Molotov goes over from Slacks. MBS has a chance to get past it as Slacks is scoped in down middle. And as he is, Speedek will find him instead. So Speedek, I think, gets his first op kill on the board. Nemiga find their second. 3 players kept alive. Pretty successful round all around, especially when you consider that Sprout's loss bonus is negligible at 1900 and their money not doing too hot right now. Nemiga's got a solid chance to equalize things. Oh, they're force buying? Just a hero AK.
Fully committing? No, fully committing.
Okay.
With a hero Galil also.
Hey, not all heroes are good at what they do, okay?
Yeah, it's the thought that counts, I suppose.
Someone's got to be Robin.
You never know. True. Very true. Still a peculiar one for me. I guess you're early on in the half, you want to keep the pressure on, but it's not like the rounds that you've lost have been super close. So I don't know that Nemiga are going to make any silly mistakes to give you a round like this, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they've got something planned, right? We've seen some really great structure and protocols, like you were saying, from Sprout in some of these rounds. So who knows? Maybe they've got something prepared for a round like this. So far, just the one flash and stacking 5 people towards middle. Jo, you might regret this decision. Certainly, I think spotted the shoulder of Cressy just peeking in there. Does have a bit of an idea. Yeah, nade going in. Oh. That'll be massive damage. No armor, of course, for Cressy. Molly as well to follow up might just be it. He goes down to the Molly or the bullets. Pick your poison. A nice, simple opener for Jo.
Roasted, toasted, and tasty meals to go. Lollipop, though, a little bit less tasty on that spray over there, and Jo's got to pick up the meal and finish it off himself. Comes in with a second, needs some help from a teammate, and that's MDS to deliver with 2 quick kills. And, well, I've got to say, that's a very clean round, given everything. For a second, I thought Jo was going to get overwhelmed in mid, and when Lollipop messes up his spray, I get even more scared. But I have to say, Jo and MDS on the B-bomb side have really been the heroes off the CT side so far for Nemiga.
It's one of those moments, isn't it, that we were kind of talking about where maybe indeed a year ago, Jo doesn't let go of his A key, you know what I mean, and just keeps on going. But now there certainly seems to be a little bit of a tighten up of those types of moments where instinctivally, yes, you might want to go for it and you might get the strong frags, but at this point, there's not much point in swinging out. Use your utility wisely. Great little round for Lollipop, of course, making money. They're all on Glocks, but no chance at all for Sprout to do anything in that round, and a good bit of bank picked up. So they're actually starting to build some wealth. But yeah, the point I was going to make quickly before we're getting into this round, something to watch if you're into your stats and you're into your strong players and whatnot. Speedic being the AWPer for this team, he's one of the few AWPers actually, not to just kind of point him out, but in Premier that has not performed to the standard of some of the others, right? A lot of teams have their carry player be the AWPer, but Nemiga, not necessarily. He's a little more towards the bottom end. So we'll see whether that's something that teams begin to exploit. At the moment, looking okay, right? Not heavy, let's say, in this game, but certainly not fragging out of his mind just yet, although he is playing contact towards short, which is dancing with death a little. Jo once again doing the same. So a lot of action in and around middle from both of these teams in the past few rounds.
Why is it always a dance with death, Scriv? Can't I just have a dance with, like, I don't know, Kate Beckinsale or someone? I mean, Speedic, maybe you have some better luck than I do, Speedic, because you've got a player in your hands and you've taken him down. Now Lollipop comes around, but Speedic, no scope, close range, takes it away. Boxing from behind, adds another as Farvan falls, and Cressy is left with a heaping load on his shoulders of a 1v3. Moves forward, moves to the side, can't quite get it, but indeed with the repeat, Boxic will go down. 1v2 now. Smoke is ready, but as he moves past, he's not sure where Jo is. And Jo, he's walking right over. Jo can just peek him out right now. Take him down. And that's an easy kill with a back turn. Jo takes it away. AK can be recovered. So can the AWP. And that's a great round from Nemiga once again.
Yeah, this is kind of worrying stuff for Sprout, honestly. Obviously, you expect a bit more out of their T side on a map like Dust 2. In general, not necessarily at the moment, right, but overall. And I feel they had Nemiga at breaking point when it was 4-2, and yet the CT side has pulled things back. And how this play goes south, I think that run boost is so smart, but Speedic should not be getting away with another frag there. Thank God for boxing, I suppose, or well, just box, of course, the Esea name. Always confusing on that guy, but nonetheless, he comes in at the perfect time, kind of bails them out a little bit. Oh, so really, really smart stuff. Lollipop, though, so blind. Great little flash, and he is read like a book playing up close and with nades in hand, not able to do anything at all. Really great pickup from Sprout.
Really unfortunate. I think he threw a smoke right as the Molotov was about to run out, but the Tease had already smoked it off immediately, so he was just caught with his bandstand at that point, unfortunately. But now, you see Jo contesting over a Deagle in mid. That's generally a bit of an iffy situation, but he will be able to take the kill away and equalize it back to a 4v4. 3 more players hurrying down mid, know his position, though, and as he's firing away, at the very least, he doesn't forfeit his life. He's been very good with playing with the dangers of mid so far, with Molotovs going out at the right time. But now no smokes, no Molotovs left on the CT side. And Farman, he's in a dangerous spot, takes away one, and Speedic is next. He gets the second, great headshot. Now it's a 4v2, and the CTs have got to put up or show up.
Oh. Jo trying to block the smoke, unfortunately not able to match the trajectory, playing on the edge of it, but Faven demolishes him for his 3rd frag of the round. Holy. MDS the only one left. I mean, 1v4. Yes, they've got money to buy up in the next round. He'd lose his AK, and there's no point, really. What with it being a half buy, right? Yeah, there's no point, to be honest. I don't know, though. I think Sprout are showing a sign there of how they can be very, very dangerous. I think they do really well in that kind of a scenario, right? Half buy, slightly looser, just playing as a unit on their T side. They find the first frag. They convert a lot of those rounds. So you really have to be careful giving those types of opportunities, those types of messy frags to begin with. You know, I get going for your nades. I get that you've got to have the long control. But if you're planning on going that deep in, maybe you need a bit of support rather than being by yourself, giving that early frag away. Like you say, a little unlucky, but that's the nature of the beast. You know, you kind of have to make your own luck in a game like this. So dangerous stuff.
And I mean, look at this replay over here. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily unlucky at the same time, because you know, your script, you've got to keep in mind over here, as Lax is looking down mid. I'm going to quickly pause. Okay, doesn't catch anyone just yet, but you've got to check that angle if you've given up long too early. And now again, they've given up long, but they're not doing it without a fight. Nades flying out, some sprays through smoke, and a kill already for the CTs, followed up by another. Sprout are falling, and Dennis might be next. Naded up, and Speedic through a second flash gets a second kill, and that's just a quick cleanup.
Let me ask you a question, right? When you've just been hit by a massive cannonball and there's a big hole in your ship and you're taking a war, what is the first thing that you do?
Pray?
Okay. What's the second thing that you do? You gotta work with me here.
Beg for forgiveness, probably, but we'll come back to that in just a second, because Slacks is potentially in search for some forgiveness for his team. The 1v3 where players aren't entirely isolated, but Nemiga have been known to overstep bounds at times, but we'll have to wait to see exactly how they do. Very important for them to not lose another player, and Jo comes in, takes it away, and we'll be able to secure their economy and keep it hale, healthy, and hearty. Okay, Scriv, back to your, ships.
Yeah, back to my ship analogy. The first thing you do, right, when you start taking a water from a huge cannonball, you know, in your side, you plug the hole. I feel that's kind of what's happened in this round, right? They lost long control. They only had one person. This time they sent 3, and Sprout have gone heavy into long 3 rounds in a row. You know? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I feel like that's what's happening in these rounds. I'm not quite sure why Sprout are really bashing their heads against this wall at long, losing another out towards middle as well, because now Nemiga are feeling so very confident in their aggression. They're starting to win the 1v1 aim duels, the gunfights, and they are a team that will keep on taking them. They are so confident. Once they get rolling, I feel at this level they can be an unstoppable force, right? Maybe against some top tier opponents, indeed, you can turn them off, but against Sprout, I think you've got to be careful not to give them too much momentum, because they will start to run away and they will start to just demolish and continue to find these opening frags in similar ways, round after round after round. It's a messy couple of rounds for me from Sprout.
And let's not forget, the discomfort from Nemiga isn't necessarily always going to be there on their CT side for this map. T side can be a very daunting beast as well against an experienced opposition. So getting that round buffer is very important. But Jo, I love the position MDS is playing to allow his team to bait him out. This is where Jo has his chance to quickly get some spray downs. Gets one. No, he gets one. All right. Falvin and Dennis do quickly follow up. But now it's a 3 versus 2 retake. Sprout have a chance because of that smoke going down, but they've still got to get a kill and make it quick. And that's Dennis to do it with the op on tunnels.
Yeah, that's a dirty angle. Absolutely love that. Still, though, they're kind of low here. He swaps back to the AK. It's fair. It's a much better weapon, I think, in this kind of a scenario to set up with your teammate. Make sure you can get the trades quickly. But they are so low. Box as well. Just creeping in, the angle being held. Faven cannot miss this. He's all by himself, looks away from the tunnels angle as well. Just walking around, though. Might be able to get the catch. In comes Box, however, and the headshot is insult to injury. Nonetheless, I think it was pretty much over at that point. Not quite sure why they're dawdling around. I suppose just trying to find nades and all that kind of stuff. But either way, 7th round coming in from Nemiga. A nice start into the post plant, but unfortunately, Sprout once again not able to recover things back after losing the early gunfights.
It gets a bit dicey over there when Jo's missing a few shots, but at the end of it all, they're able to get the retake, and that's what matters. It could have been much worse. Now, Sprout still in a position to be able to buy up Scrib, and that's where things are always so frustrating for your CT side. It doesn't matter what you do. You're just not going to be good enough to break their economy 9 times out of 8. Now, though, question is, what's the adjustment coming out from Sprout for the end of this half as Faven comes in and shows us exactly what it is? Lollipop had been getting frisky and short a few too many times, and he will end his life. Now, Jo playing closer over towards the A side. I like the adjustment, but immediately after, they're actually pincering into middle. They're expecting potentially another mid to B play, and I can't say they're wrong yet.
Oh, Jo finally, his aggression gets the better of him. A lot of damage done here. Dennis in a great position, but kind of looking at the wrong spot. MDS somewhat savvy to the fact. Creeping in. Dennis going to check it as the smoke goes down and somehow comes away with that frag. I think MDS was positionally perfect, but mechanically flawed. Oh, and a great little flash to take down the final player in the form of Speeduk as well. Out of nowhere. Sprout pick up a 6th round. They just seem to really catch Nemiga with their pants down. One frag after another, after another, after another. Very well done.
And now Nemiga are in a place where they don't have money anymore at the worst possible time. That's the end of the half, Scrib. And, you know, you start to wonder, where's that call coming in to, you know, prep up for a mid to B? Jo getting caught out over there as well. Maybe just when you see the double stack towards lower tunnels and you're expecting them to double back towards the B side. I love the heads-up play from Dennis, though, and MDS definitely messed up mechanically there. But Dennis is a force of nature when he's playing in Tier 2, and it's clutch time, and it's time for his team to really need, you know, a couple of important frags here or there. He might not always deliver the big numbers, but what he delivers is what his team needs at that time. And right now, because of that, they might actually be able to start leveraging their way up towards maybe even an 8-7, dare I say it?
May well have cursed it, but we'll see. I don't know if they'd be happy with that. It was such a strong start from them. Either way, you know, we can't be too harsh. I think the first A jitters certainly coming in. That smoke narrowly misses. Dennis, though, clapping heads. Wow. 3 very quick headshots. A clean round from Sprout, though, as to be expected. No silliness, no messing about. Nemiga, I think, kind of knew that anyway. Throwaway round from what they'd bought. This is where it matters, getting the slim advantage into the next round. All very, very important. Yeah, rest in peace, Box. I think that was pretty much 100 to hoe. He might have taken a bullet through the smoke to begin with, but nonetheless, what can you do about that? Now we've got auto noobs in play, goddamn. But no tags landing, so it's all in vain. Oh, well, and it's actually Speeduk to no-scope speed.
Instantly goes down short, is expecting some issues maybe coming over short because of the previous round, and now Cressy, he's contesting, but a smoke at his feet will keep him at bay for now. Spray through the door will go forward, but No one there to, you know, catch the bullets. Meanwhile, Nemiga again reinforcing mid. Now that they've got short control, now that they've got a player aggressive into long, but Cressy's trying to peek over the smoke. However, Box, he's just playing it safe. In the meanwhile, question is, where is Favin headed off to? Because he's playing from the back of short, and I'm expecting him to be one of the people who can maybe make a play. Dennis moves forward. Shadows visible there, Dennis, and Jo catches it.
Big frag. That's really going to solidify their position into this final round. So, an uphill battle. Difficult task for Sprout. Rack angle here for Speedic. Oh, the splash can be perfect. Comes over the top. He's very, very blind. And now Slacks is posted up. Box, though. And the blue bin. Not going to get checked. Good for one. But maybe that's all he needs. Fair from Slacks. Whether it makes a difference or not, unfortunately, remains to be seen. Yeah, not going to have an effect in the end. Bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Either way, we'll be back with the second half after a short break.
See the signs and I see we're there, and I feel the lies and I feel the sand. Forever hold, no matter if we're cast away, a fire in the dark. I know that you won't be waiting when I will again. Right from the start, I see the end. A world torn apart, but I know we're meant. Forever hold, no matter if we're cast away, a fire in the dark. I know that you won't be waiting when I will again. I know that you won't be waiting when I will
All right, folks, welcome back to the second half here of our first game of Season 36 premiere. We are, of course, with Sprout and Nemiga, if you are just joining us. 8-7 at the half. Nemiga certainly surprising a little bit, I think, with these results. It's a fast take into this pistol, though. Favin, indeed, by tea times, noise of surprise, I suppose. Getting a big dink in the head. Flash coming over the top, though. The short hit from Nemiga. Relentless aggression. I mean, what else were we expecting here? No frags as yet. Certainly surprising. Bullets raining out all over the shop. It's Favin in from the side that indeed is looking to do the damage. However, and he will, I think, Put a stop to this hold. They need to take him down quick. Speedic runs out of ammo. Can't get it done. It's all going to be onto MDS, and he also can't get it done. So Sprout come away with the pistol.
That's now 2 pistol rounds from Favin coming through, where he has just given them the round from short. This time, despite being dinked out through mid from a Glock, had long range early on. And if that's not as bad of a hand of cards you can be dealt with, I don't know what is. He's got 17 kills and 8 deaths right now. The man is a beast, and Nemiga, I mean, question is, which one of you guys is turning into a 4-legged animal? Because someone needs to deal with him. Who will be the werewolf?
I think so. Full moon, when does it come out?
Listen,
is it tea time?
Well, I mean, maybe it's Slacks, but Favin over here has been overwhelmed. Max tend to take him down. Slacks still chiming in with the scout, getting some damage, getting some pops, but Nemiga going to get a free bomb plant right now with not an entirely full investment coming in. Speedic actually saved up, so I like where they're going with this. Jo with the recovered Famas as well. Great spot for him to be. Question is, can Lollipop find anything with that Deagle? Because Speedic, he's about to be ruled out by Discord immediately.
Oh, trying to push in as well. It's risky. Lollipop actually comes away with 2. Now all onto Jo. Great angle. Oh my goodness, and perfect execution. Is he expecting Slacks to come from the same angle? I don't think he's quite spotted him. Maybe someone's just called to him that he saw the tip of the head. Slacks, of course, on the scout. Oh. It's very difficult up close, and Jo will get it done. Oh, what a massive round from him. Absolute pandemonium on the B-bomb site, and Nemiga have upset the apple cart here. This is certainly troublesome for the CT side of Sprout. Bear that in mind. The economy game now becomes the 6th enemy.
I mean, Favin take it and Favin give it away as well. And right there, he give it away his farmers to let Jo win the round for them. Lollipop, you've got to give him some love. But right now it's a time for them to start overwhelming Sprout because of that economy that you talked about. It's 6-on-3 pretty much, because let's be honest, Sprout with their Deagles aren't quite a full man. So Slacks now scoping in, waiting for them to start peeking back. Jo and Lollipop, though, been tagged up. Maybe Slacks is more than just a man. Slacks is the beast we've been looking for.
Oh. I don't know, man. This is deadly. They're aware, surely.
I don't know.
It looks like it, but they're a man down. They kind of need all the force they can muster to move in towards this A-bomb site. Of course, Slack's long range, he is low, but as we know, this angle is deadly.
Well, Dennis, man, I mean, with age comes patience, I suppose, but MDS takes away Slack's life. In the meanwhile, no patience is helping you with a head remove. Cressy now next to the smoke, thinking of pushing forward, but Favin on the M4 is trying to lead the charge, and maybe Dennis waited too long. He's just left with only a single player with him, and Lollipop still watching the back lines where he takes him down. Cressy burned up, and Sprout, despite being given an opportunity to strike, fortunately, they just have MDS walking all over them with a couple of crisp, clean headshots.
Unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. That could be a key round, actually, in the turning point. It's not necessarily one that Sprout should have won, but if they had, it kind of nullifies all the damage done in the previous round, and they can, at the very least, even the playing field a little bit more. But now, well, Nemiga, I think, are in full control. You get off to this weak start on your CT side with your economy in the worst possible position, and I think you might have to play to the fiddle of Nemiga. We'll see. There's certainly a decent amount of room here, but you got to be winning. I think at the very least, like your second rifle round into this half. Definitely the first in their minds, but you know, if we're looking at it objectively, if they lose that second one as well, I think it might be it. So a lot of pressure in these next few rounds. Not this one, because they're just on the pistols. The Deagle in the hands of Cressy, but he, of course, kind of in the wrong area. They're just rushing out long. Very, very simple stuff here. I like the response from Sprout, gaining some control towards short. Still, though, the weaponry, man. Like, what can you do here?
Square, you're talking about you liking the response from Sprout. I'm loving these camera angles we've got going here. We've got him tilting from side to side. You know what that shows us? That shows us that you know, the state of mind that Sprout is in. Because if I was them, I'd be really tilted at losing the past 2 rounds. Because it seemed like they had him in the back, but just couldn't make him work. Now, though, maybe it's their time to be doing some tilting of their own. Cressy, again on the Deagle, not had a very good game so far, sitting on just 5 kills compared to the rest of his team, sticking out a little bit like a sore tongue, but maybe it's the time for this Tom to be stuck into Nemiga's eyes. Unfortunately, he's blind, and he can't get anything done.
Yeah, Dennis clapped as well. Lollipop for the ace. The Eco Warrior. Where is he? Bavin, I don't think, wants to give it to him, though, of course. Lollipop on the hunt. Oh, he's not too far away. He's coming. There's a Zeus. Got to be careful. I think they have spotted Bavin out here. Lollipop going to go zooming around. Oh, my goodness. And the Zeus is so close.
I had my breath taken in. I was getting ready to do my full Zeus lightning impression, but I said, man, sometimes lightning just doesn't strike, and even once, let alone twice. And Robin over here not able to get that out of their hands. Would have been a nice consolation at the very least, but instead it's just some wasted money, and that wasted money is going to reflect on his weapon choice. He's come out with a farm speed in the meanwhile, gets head armor for some reason. Don't know why, never will understand it. Slack's actually holding on to some money as well, funnily enough, not going for full utility. So interesting level of investment coming out from Sprout. I'm quite curious about this, actually. Maybe they're just setting up. So it looks to me like they're just setting up for a save if they don't come over to long. And, you know, the best possible way to contest long for Slack seems to be with a scout. He's had some success with it, but beyond that, I don't really completely understand this. Did he just use the utility and I didn't notice? Is that what happened?
Sometimes possible, right? It's hard to keep up with everything, but it's peculiar. It's certainly peculiar, and I think it is going to hinder them slightly. And where we saw a lot of contests towards middle previously, not really the case.
Yeah, contesting middle is so difficult without proper weaponry and utility to be able to, you know, toss a couple nades in, toss a couple Molotovs in, have an assisting flash from B. Now Speedy's going to play first contact. Favin's got the distraction. Speedy peeks out second, and while Favin's blind, Speedek will come in and clean up. Still 3v3, doable, but this is the trap that's been laid for the CTs. Do you go for this and risk your weaponry, or do you move back and risk your score line?
Bro. That's their round. You shouldn't be allowed to get away with that. That's a key headshot, though. Speaking of not allowed to get away with things, Cressy hitting a filthy one that maybe, yeah, it's forced them in. I think they could go for this. They do have a kit available in the hands of Slacks. No one really showing anything right now. Slack's going to upgrade to that AK, of course. Flash over the top. Jo. Ooh, blinded. Got to be careful here. This setup is very, very open. Door is covered. Jo, though, with the perfect timing to find that kill in towards tunnels. Magic. Absolute magic from Nemiga on the B-bomb site.
And I mean, the magician himself has got to be Speedek. Look at his entries down into B. We're going to see a replay of them pretty soon. Again, he gets 2 kills to make up for it with a great flashbang to help out. Then follows up on the side in the hold as well. Just takes them away one by one. And look at the trust from Jo. He just doesn't get behind the Xbox because he knows his teammates should be able to keep an eye out for both window and for the doors. So just the communication between these players, that really goes a long way, the faith that you have between them. Nemiga, this core has now been playing together for quite a lot of time, and you'll love to see the progression that, you know, you outlined in the pre-show as well. But now, the progression onto A long has been hindered by Deagle's shots, but that hindrance is being taken away.
Looking good here. Ooh, on the edge of the smoke, a perfect flash coming in. Favin, this is the round. If he can get it done, it's all good, though. Cressy comes in on the backside. Oh, my goodness. The two of them have just turned that round upside down.
That was insane. Look at the speed coming up from Favin over here. Gets the first, follows up, second shot, and even does damage to allow Cressy to finish up. That's what we're talking about. Sprout coming out with an important, crucial deagle win, which lets them pick up that double up setup. Favin's got one, and sure, he's tagged early on, but again, they've abandoned mid because of that tag, and they want to play on the extremities of the map right now. Question is, are they going to do anything with those extremities once they've got control?
Oh, Jo, once again, looking to be that aggressor. Smoke about to dissipate. Just a few more seconds left, trying to play around the corner of it. Not going to work. Spiddy is ready for that jump boost coming in, but there's no one at short. I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan. I like the lurk, but entering on his own in such a key round, I mean, maybe it is a play that they don't expect. I'm not quite sure. Meanwhile, Box is split off from the rest of the team. That one's unfortunate. And now a 5-on-3 with the bomb pivoting towards the B-bomb site. One player still up short, sacrificing himself for the fake. But, of course, no kills coming in for the T side. They don't really need to move anyone off of B. So, yeah, it's not like they've really given themselves any kind of an advantage here with that kind of play. Speeduck going to try his best. The smoke's a little janky. Yeah, this is kind of a desperate attempt to the B-bomb site, I feel, at this point. Speeduck going, rushing in, lands the flick across onto Spiddy, though. That could be indeed the blunder that gives things across. Favin at the back of the site. The smoke does take down the molly. He's left low. He's waiting for the cavalry, though, of course. It's all onto MDS now. 1 versus 4. Not looking too good. Maybe if you can do damage. I think that's key. If you can do damage, certainly could be good here. I'm going to try and go for the bomb plant. No way he gets away with this. Okay, yeah, they will deny it as well. Goodness gracious.
If he'd been able to get that bomb plan out, then Favin's feasibly low enough that you can take him away with just a pistol, then you're talking. Then you're cooking with gas because, you know, it's a 1v3. Take down one more player. You've practically economically won that round, at least to the best of whatever you can do in a 1 versus, 4, I believe it was. But yeah, timeout comes in. I wouldn't be surprised if that one's from Nemiga because really at this point they need it. Nemiga have not really been able to deal with the fact that Sprout don't have anyone in mid. And you saw in the previous round, the lurker on the B-bomb side trying to entry in. You're absolutely right. It looks really weird to us as casters, especially because we can see how many players are in B. Ordinarily, you're expecting a couple of players maybe still hovering around in mid, but Sprout's willingness to abandon mid hasn't really been exploited at any point because the one time Nemiga's gone mid, it's actually when they were met with a significant degree of contest. That's when Speeduck got that beautiful 4K and was able to really take them away. Now, Slacks misses a shot onto a jumping target. Don't really blame him for that one, but would have been nice to see.
Such an important round here. I mean, look at the money for both of these teams, right? There is a little bit left for Sprout, but not quite enough. Finger on the pulse, ear to the ground. Need to make sure that you pull off that perfect play. Nobody wants to be the player to get caught out. That's what I always say in this kind of situation. You can certainly feel the tension building in the air. Oh, Cressy out towards long. This could be a rough one for him if he goes unchecked, however, or if he lands a headshot while blind. That certainly could work. Flash is coming over from his teammate, trying to flash himself out as well. It is a messy take here from the T side. Cressy somehow still alive. MDS, meanwhile, through the smoke, tracking down Dennis. Not gonna, Favin, sorry, not gonna happen. Dennis also chiming in. Oy, oy, oy. That's certainly fallen apart from Nemiga into the 4-on-2.
And this is where Speeduck and Jay have got to show something huge. Jo in particular is a man who I really appreciate for his clutching ability. We've seen a few moments over here as well, but instead, all pressure, all eyes are on Speeduck. The crouching tiger might be about to go extinct, though. He'll be able to get the bomb plan in at least safely. No one in CT to interrupt him. And Jo, well, he's just waiting for Cressy to make his way over. If Cressy goes down, there is a significant chance, but actually, Cressy might be doubling up with Speedy over here, and that makes it significantly more difficult. Jo just doesn't have the HP, turns away for a moment, and as the flash comes over, gets the first kill at the very least. Now it's a 1 versus 2 as Speeduck is there to refrag, but His HP is practically negligible. The question is, can he get those 2 quick shots? And now there's even a smoke to contend with. The only good fortune he has, Favin's got an AWP. And as Speedek is trying to spam away, he's just not able to get it done. And Sprout would have the defuse and his life.
Yeah, difficult. I think maybe if he was on full HP, he just rushes through that smoke. Or holds mouse 1 a little longer, perhaps. So, HP certainly making a difference. This one's absolute filth. Great angle, though. Seen that utilized quite a bit in this game. I think Cressy may be learning from Nemiga on their CT side, reminding him of it, that yes, indeed, perhaps I can pull that out and get a cheeky frag round the corner myself. Half buy coming in from Nemiga off the back of the bomb plant. Pretty important, I guess, moving into this round then to facilitate something. They will burst onto the B-bomb site and look to overwhelm, and they might just get the opportunity to do so. Spitty, at the moment, is by himself. Does manage to drop 1, but that's all. Now into a 4-on-4. The AWP being far away has made a difference here. Lurking presence of MDS going to slow them down. It's a hard one to read. You still have to hand it to the CT side, surely, with their utility and weaponry.
But at the same time, Speedek, close range on the MAC-10. You've got Deagles as well to work with. Boxic, sure, Molotov out, but with a flashbang going forward, he turns around and gets a kill. Speedek peeks out again. That's the MAC-10 in close range, with Slash from behind with the USBs equally deadly with 2. But Box finishes it off, Favin to go down, and Nemiga with their 13th round. Sprout not giving B-side the resources that they were early enough. And Nemiga with the B rush coming in, they just figure it out.
Yeah, that's taken out their Achilles for sure. They are just kind of crawling through these next couple of rounds. Pause definitely required. What are we to do, boys? The decisions, the movements in the next couple rounds really could dictate the way that this series goes, honestly. I wouldn't say, you know, our second map, as you can see, Inferno is terrible for Sprout, but if this is a weak map for Nemiga, a very weak map to be honest, 25% over 8 maps is relatively low stats, and they're able to take them down here, I mean, Inferno is going to be a real tough matchup surely for Sprout. And again, as we've talked about, very mental team. That not only affects things here, but of course the overall series will be affected by their ability to bounce back. Does appear we have a little bit of a tech pause here, so hopefully bear with us, but it gives us a bit of time to talk things over, I suppose, tea time, you know, go podcast mode.
I mean, you say podcast mode, I think there's so much over here to break down, because Script, the biggest, you know, green flag for me is actually, funnily enough, both these teams as operas are overperforming for me. Slacks right now is hitting some crazy shots. He's getting aggressive, and this isn't a Slacks that I've seen in alternate attacks. So I'm loving this change from him, but at the same time, mate, Speedek's got like some crazy clutches coming in with a rifle, with an AWP, and on the first half, he had more flashed AWP kills than he had normal ones. This guy's timing, his game sense, his gauge of the situation is going haywire. That's how good it is. So moving into Inferno, it's anyone's game, but the problem is Nemiga, they don't have Lollipop performing all that well. So honestly, over here, even if they take away Dust 2, there's still that potential spice of a third map, you know, that's being ready to be peppered onto this recipe, but we'll have to wait to find out for that. For now, though, the biggest question is, how much does Sprout purchase up over here? They've got the opportunity to go for a full 4-spy around a Slacks AWP. He's got $48.50 on him at the time being, but then you're putting yourself in a situation where, hey, you lose that, you've lost the game pretty much. On the other hand, if you give Nemiga a free 14th, is that too much pressure?
Yeah, it's a really tough scenario right now, to be honest with you. And I think, indeed, although it is kind of technical in nature, a bit of a slowdown, a bit of time to just gather your bearings, get yourself into the right mindset, going into a round like this where they have indeed Hail Mary'd it. I think that is very, very important. Just the USP for Cressy. I'm not sure if that's intentional, if he is looking to, you know, bait a teammate and scoop a weapon up, or perhaps take one from an enemy that falls. But all the same, having the USP certainly will hinder him a little bit. Even just a P250 is such a massive upgrade. Definitely could come back to bite him in the backside, but overall the buy itself is not ideal here. Ooh, yes, the head spotted at the very last second. Shots missing from both snipers. But all the same, the first shot has indeed rung out. The fight surely beginning in just a few moments' time. There's 4 players stacked in towards that CT side of middle. Thank goodness for Nemiga, they don't go charging in through the double doors.
Falvin, though, he's getting ready to peek in aggressively. If MDS isn't watching this, then this could be deadly. As Falvin waits and lies. Speedy. Falmus on the B-bomb side. Definitely some chances, some potential for a multi-kill. But Jo, he's been very wise around these smokes before on the CT side. Can he do it over here on T? Speedy gets the first kill, can drop up, but chooses not to. Lollipop will punish that mistake and take away his life. 30 seconds, so not too much time for them to play around. And Falvin's moved over in the meanwhile, not going for the flank, instead head-on kill onto Box. And now, with the bomb still not planted, more damage dealt to Speedy. Things are heating up for the terrorist side.
Bomb goes down. A slight lull in the action for now. Bit of quiet, a bit of peace, moments to indeed get some utility off or pull off a nice little double boost. Nothing coming from it. No one really spotted out either. It's a nice idea, but doesn't work out. They're not playing wide. They're not playing aggressive angles. No, sir. Playing things nice and safe. The break through the double doors will come in, and they are absolutely mowed down into the meat grinder. And not a single frag on that retake attempt from Sprout. There is certainly an argument, you have to say, that perhaps they could have saved the weaponry they still had there.
I mean, definitely a lot of arguments to be made over there. Even Speedy choosing to maintain that angle, it's such a dangerous, you're really gambling on yourself with all the odds stacked against you. You don't have an M4 there, you don't have an AK there. It's a FAMAS and they already know your position. So not the easiest of fights to take, but I understand why he feels pressure to do so. Now though, Sprout actually will have a buy in the end. And this is probably the reason why Scriv, they actually went for the full buy in the previous round, where they're thinking, hey, technically speaking, we have the same number of buy rounds, regardless of whether we buy now or later. The actual difference is that, unfortunately, you won't have an AWP on Slacks unless he gets some kills now. And that could be a major difference maker with how incredibly effective he's been in some of these rounds. And now Molotov goes out. That's a stack that might not really be finding much. Question for them over here is, can we find some AKs? Can we run away with some guns? Make that next round a little bit easier? Well, they find some AKs, just not in the way they wanted.
Certainly the business end of an AK, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll try short instead, maybe. Yes, indeed. Now it's going to be a Mac 10, a slightly easier opponent. Trying to bait out a peek from middle, though. It is kind of working, but they just don't have anything to work with, and not biting off too much here on that T side. Actually, relatively well played. Yes, it's only against USPs, but you certainly could throw a pointless weapon away. Playing it patiently, waiting for teammates, and just making sure to continue to send a message, continue to hammer it home as we now move into map point for map number 1. Again, to highlight, if you are just joining us, if you perhaps are not familiar with the UI and whatnot, this is the pick of Sprout. So taking this away on the Nemiga side would be massive. We thought this was going to be a bit more of a close one, and it certainly has been on this map, but the series itself, I mean, could go anywhere if they lose this.
And in a situation like this, where you need every single drop of utility, Speedy goes for head armor. I genuinely don't understand this decision at all, but hey, maybe he feels like he's at risk playing over towards a B-bomb site. There are some wall-bangable areas, but it's just so unlikely and it's so uncommon that something happens, especially on B. You want to have that frag grenade. Just chuck one in, do a lot of damage. Og follows up. That's what the Og is good for, peeking around angles and cleaning up. But now, short push coming in, and Dennis wants to intercept. If he can get some kills, if he can get some shots in, even tender them up, pepper them up enough for Cressy to finish things off from long, that would be huge. But instead, they've dropped down to CT, and they want to face on Slacks, and Slacks has been found in a gap through the smoke. Cressy will get one, but it might just be a consolation. Lollipop takes him away, and Speedy lost the fall. That's going to be it. We're going to have to go to a quick break because Nemiga just took away Sprout's map pick.